Well, I am so glad to see you all here, and I hope you're pumped.
Yes.
Because I am. I am so excited to be able to do this. You just don't know how long we've been waiting to make this happen. So we did this in 2020, but you know what happened then, right? Did everybody get to see the recordings from 2020? If you didn't, they're on the website. Just scroll down and, well, he's not going to show you from here, but scroll down and click on 2020 presentations. And you'll get to see the reveals that we did, in addition to all of the classes that we have. Now, we have people that are here. Can you see me okay? We have people that are here virtually as well as you in the audience. So we want to make sure that we thank all of our people who are visiting us virtually. And also now want to get into what's going to be happening today. So the first thing is you are in the main session, and the main session will be here. We also have all the DNA sessions in here. Then we'll have classes. The classes are upstairs. We have the event, the exhibit hall that is, you'll see a sign that takes you down the hall of the ways. All of our heritage societies are there. Family Search is there. The Family History Center people do Family Search. We have everything that you can think of today is going on. And I want you to make sure you take advantage of as much as you can. But what you can't take advantage of, we will make sure that it's available virtually. Okay? So with that, housekeeping. Okay, it's on my phone. Hold on. Restrooms, that's the first thing. Everybody wants to know about the restrooms, right? There's a restroom here, right outside this door. And on the main hall, there is a set of restrooms there. There's also restrooms in the youth department, or we call it the children's library. And there's one adult bathroom there, but there's bathrooms for children. There's also activities where kids of all ages can take part in learning different crafts from different heritages. Then upstairs, you will find all the classrooms, the elevator to the classrooms. You go straight down this hall and you'll find the elevator, or you can take the stairs. It just depends on your mobility. Let's see. We do have a correction to the schedule. Dr. Philip Baker, his session at 3:30 is in the Menninger room. And for those of you who pre-ordered lunches, they will be available in the exhibit hall at 4:35 or 4:45. One more time, 11:45. Okay, with that, I'm going to go into our wonderful, you've already met Dan Debenham, and he's told you a little bit about him, but he is the creator and producer of Relative Race as well as the host. And he's going to tell you everything else you need to know. So welcome, Dan Debenham.
I love it. I'm old and I can't see anything either. And Sherry's working her glasses trying to read those notes. So I hope you don't mind me walking out. Like, I like being in front of people. So in fact, my dad, when I graduated, I was a junior in high school, 1978. And my dad, oh, sure. Oh, dang. Hello, people at home. What's up? Okay, so my dad, who remembers Parade magazine, the Sunday newspaper? There we go. Oh, I'm in the right audience. Sometimes I'm talking to people and they're like, what? I go, newspaper. What's a newspaper? And I'm like, okay, let me explain. Paper. So my dad, who was a successful lawyer, we just lost him 2 years ago. And I thought I was going to go to law school. My two older brothers were in medical school. I thought I was going to go to law school. My dad comes downstairs and he says, Dan, I have something I'd like you to read in Parade magazine. And I was like, oh, I read Parade magazine all the time because it was colored with pictures. So I'm like, yeah. And so he says, read this article about this new technology. It's called cable TV. And I read this technology and it said that cable TV was expected to launch within the next year. And it was going to feature up to 15 stations, 15. And I thought, that's impossible. The dial on the TV has 13 stations. and 4 of them are already being used: ABC, NBC, CBS, and PBS. So how are you going to get 15 stations? And I thought, so I read a little bit more about it. It says that there will be a big need for television anchors and reporters. So I go to my dad and I said, I know what a reporter is. What's a television anchor? He goes, don't you watch the news? I said, I'm a junior in high school. I work at Kmart Automotive 5 days a week, and I play football, basketball, baseball, and tennis. So no, I don't watch the news. We're going to watch it tonight. We just moved to Utah. I was born in California, grew up in Alaska, just moved to Utah where my parents are from. And we sit down and I adjust the rabbit ears and they're coming in pretty clear. He says, sit down. And this really handsome man appears on TV. I mean, he was handsome, impressive. And he looks right out as if he's looking at me and he says, good evening. I'm Dick Norse and this is the KSL Evening News. And then he continues to talk and he continues to talk and he continues to talk. And then there's pictures and video. And I look at my dad and I said, are you telling me that guy gets paid to talk? And he says, I think he gets paid really good money. And I went, that's for me. So that's what I did. I went to school, majored in broadcast journalism, and went up to Anchorage, where I grew up, as my first job as a sports anchor. Then I spent 10 years at ESPN in Connecticut. Then my wife, who I'd met in college, wanted to move back home. She's from Utah. Moved back home. We've been there for 23 years, and we started LensWorks Productions 21 years ago. So is this breaking up, or is this just me that's thinking it's breaking up? No, it's going in and out too. Okay. If this bothers you, I can yell really loud. Just let me know. Okay. Typically I spend like an hour and a half with this. I need to spend 45 minutes. So for those of you who came in a little bit late, I'm the co-creator and co-executive producer and co-owner of the company that created Relative Race. Relative Race is a show that features 4 teams that takes a 10-day journey across America discovering family that they never met, never knew in their lives. Now, that's changed over the years because sometimes they have met their family, because some of our stories are now about people that were torn away in foster care. One of our seasons that I remember very well, if you watch the show featuring Rebecca and her husband, he was a Border Patrol agent. She was on the show because her father had killed her mother when she was 4 years old. He was serving a lifetime prison. She was taken away by the state and never knew anything about her mother's family, never. And we found everyone on her mother's family, including her sister, who then, like 2 years later, Rebecca was her maid of honor at her wedding. So we tell these stories of these teams as they race across America finding family. Each day of the race is a 1-hour episode. If you'd like to watch it, just simply go to BYU TV, or if you have Amazon Prime, you can search Relative Race and you can watch it. There are 10 seasons out. If you don't want to watch all 10 seasons, I actually recommend that you start with season 5. And I'm going to show you a clip from season 5 if we get that far. I also am a speaker tomorrow, and so I have clips that will go into tomorrow as well. All right. Before I start, does any questions about, because I want you to understand what we're about to show you. Does anybody have any questions about what is this show? How does it work? Okay. Each day, the last person to find their family, the team that takes the longest, receives a strike. 3 strikes and you're out of the 10-day race. And the one question I get immediately is, please tell me you give them their family's contact information. I go, oh yeah, we do. If they're out of the race, we give them all their family's contact information. And in fact, anybody that will legally allow us to share their information in our search, and sometimes that's 200 or 300 relatives, we give them all of that information, including the people. There's only 9 people, 9 relatives on the race. So we give them all of the information of all of the relatives that we found. If they make it to day 10, the teams that make it to day 10 then compete for $50,000. So it's called Relative Race. You find all your family and you win $50,000. Okay. Having said that, I want to share with you some behind the scenes, footage that was on the show, but talk about a little bit about behind the scenes. How did we get to this moment? What did it take? And what happened afterwards? But all of these moments, I hope that you will come away with the power of family. Our show is nothing more than stories that show, in a very real sense, nothing is staged, nothing is written.
I
Well,
had
that's
to
not
call the
true.
library. She said, yep, we got that email
Did you
this morning.
get the email?
So,
Cool. Keep talking. I'm here.
yeah, they said they did. They got the email.
Great. They got the email.
I did on Thursday.
Oh, I got it on Friday.
My name just popped up.
Your name popped up. Marla, my name's not Marla. My name's Dan. Why are we having a conversation right now? Marla, do you watch Relative Race? That woman, wherever Marla is right now, is going, and I am so confused. So at the end of the day, what Relative Race does is it finds family and unites family. And we get to show it with no script, no redos. That is the power that video can also impress upon, I hope, all of us today. I know everything that happens every day. I oversee the casting. I oversee all the challenges that are done. I oversee all the locations that are done. I know every bit of research that's done. I meet weekly with Tristan Tolman, who is the most talented genealogist, with all due respect to anybody that's in the room that I've ever met. And so I know everything. And then that night, when I do that Zoom meeting, and no, you're not going to see it. So every night, the host does a live Zoom meeting with all 4 teams that are in all around the country. And we see them all, and they all see me, and they all see each other. And then I ask them ultimately, I say, tell me about, I'll say, Team Red, tell me about, you got pulled over by a highway patrolman today. As you know, you can't break the speed limit. What happened? Well, Dan, then ultimately at the end, I say, tell me who you found today. Who was waiting for you on that doorstep? And there are tears coming down faces. And the other teams, even though they're all competing for $50,000, the beauty of this show is the other teams are rooting for their competitors. Why? Because they all know what's going on. They're all looking for family, all of them. So I hope that you get a little piece of that today in some of these, and then we'll have more tomorrow. And then I'm also will be sitting at somewhere at a desk somewhere later today for 2 or 3 hours. So I'll be there for any questions, and we'll actually be showing most of one of the seasons, season 5. Okay. Without further ado, let's show you the first thing that you're going to see is a promo. And it's just to set this. This is a promo from season 5. And I hope it'll just give you a feel. This was a promotion to say, hey, everybody out there in TV land or watching on your mobile devices, watch the new season. And then following that, I want to go ahead and go in to the next 2 scenes. So just let it roll until, okay. The first scene that you're going to see that I want to set up after this promo is from season 2. And for those of you who remember, there was a young man named Joe Greer, and he went on the race with his wife. And his mother, well, he'll explain it. His mother was killed by a drunk driver. He'll explain it. And you'll find who he finds both first in his first scene is his father. And I want to tell you the backstory to that. So we have to contact mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters and say, do you know that you have a sibling, or do you know that you have this person? And if so, we're going to send you a contract if you want to be on the show, and you've got to be at your house on this date, and the contract will be signed, sealed, and delivered. Now we're going to pay you to be at your house, but you need to be there because they're going to arrive. And then you're going to have them spend the night with you, this new sibling or son or daughter. And then the next morning, they're going to get a text from the host, and they're going to race off again. All right. In this case, we contact Joe's father. And Joe's father says, I don't have a son. That's impossible. I'm like 70 years old. How old's this boy? But he's 26. Impossible. Were you a dance instructor on a cruise ship? Yes. Were you single during that time? Yes. Did you have special snuggles with? So he said, I don't believe it. And I said, well, the DNA tests show that you are 99.9% positive to your father. Where from? Ancestry DNA. That's crap. I don't believe that. He goes, I've seen those. Those are like $99. They're cheap. They don't work. Okay, they're only the best one in the world, but okay. So he said, I want my own DNA kit. Well, to get the story shorter, he has 4 DNA tests that he has us pay for. One of them was $1,100, meaning it was a ripoff, right? Because you can get it from Ancestry on sale for $59, I think. I don't know. So he finally admits, he goes, this has got to be my son. And we said, oh, it is. Would you like to meet him? He said, yes. Now I'm going to tell you what happened after you see this scene as well. So we're going to let this roll for 3 scenes now. Okay. And then I'm going to come back up and we're going to talk a little bit. I hope you enjoy this as you find out more about Joe Greer and this moment that changed his life.
Get over here close as you can. I've been alone in this place. I wanna get face to face. I need you here, give me your hand. We've gotta fill in this space. I wanna get face to face. Face to face.
I'm Joe Greer,
My name is Madison Greer.
and we are Team Black, and we live in Portland, Oregon. And we're here with one purpose and one mission, and that's to find family. I was born in Flint, Michigan, to just my mother. It was just her and I. Never knew my father, never knew who my biological father was. On the night of my 4th birthday, my mother went out with some coworkers for the evening, and she didn't come home. She was involved in a drunk driving accident that was not her fault. It ended up taking her life. I just want to know who my dad is. That's a big reason, why I'm here, why, I'm doing this is to hopefully, I don't know, experience some peace and through some heavy questions being answered and some holes being filled. It took me, I think, till about him to get to the base of the steps to really understand what was about to happen.
Joe, it's great to meet you.
Hi. He walked towards me and embraced me, and man.
So, whose relative are you?
Watch his wife.
I'm Joe's father.
Really?
Really.
I honestly didn't think a day like this would ever happen. It's always just been this weird, distant dream. There's no way anybody will be able to find him. Holy smokes.
Oh my word.
Doug?
Yeah.
You knew my mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can talk about all of that. It's a long story.
I can't wait to hear it. Wow. It's just overwhelming. I don't know what to do with all of it. That's amazing.
That's great.
Look at that. We look alike, don't we? Look at that. I love that. My father is Douglas H. McElhaney, and I found him on Relative Race.
So here's as I've gone around the country, this show has really grown in popularity. Amazon Prime, for instance, just bought 2 more seasons of it. As I go around the country, it's more and more common that I'll be in a lounge at an airport or something, and somebody will come up to me and say, wait a minute, aren't you the guy on Relative Race? Except for not now because I have cancer and I look very different. Okay. But normally they used to. And I have often people say, you're a really good actor. And I go, I'm not an actor. Never been an actor, never, that's not what happens. Because people say, well, but I see you like cry and you're really emotional. And I go, yeah, because those are the feelings that are coming out. So if I am emotional up here, I apologize, but this is the greatest thing I've ever been a part of in 37 years of creating television. So in this case, Joe's father, that girl was his daughter that he had adopted. He had married an Asian woman, and that was his adopted daughter. That's who that little girl was. But here's the deal. He met, those of you who watched this season, you'll remember that he meets 3 sisters over the next like 24 hours, 3 sisters as well. And they all know their father. They didn't know about him. Nobody knew about him. 5 months after this show aired, his father died. And because of Relative Race, this television show, he and all of his sisters and all of his family were there together for that funeral. So that's pretty cool. I hope you got the power of what this young man was going through when he found his dad. Okay, the next one I want to introduce you to is Kayla and Julie Williams. In our very first season of Relative Race, Kayla and Julie Williams were related to one of our teams, a couple from just outside of Nashville. And then we found out that they're looking for family. So Kayla was looking for family, didn't know anything, had been torn apart. Her father had abandoned their family when she was 5, and just didn't know what happened after that. The state came in, took all the kids, and she didn't know. So I want you to see this next, and again, watch her reaction when she meets who she meets. But there's also some funny moments. Again, nothing scripted. And so there's a little bit of humor here going on as well. So this is from season 2, the same season that we just saw Joe Greer.
Hi, I'm Kayla Williams.
And I'm Julie Williams.
And we're the blue team from Smyrna, Tennessee.
And we're on this show for the adventure.
My dad left when I was 6 years old. And I think that's one of the main reasons why my mom and I became best friends.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
How you doing, Kayla?
Yes. Okay, who are you related to? And then we're going to ask to use your bathroom.
Good to you. Yes.
Oh,
Wow. My dad?
I'm your sister, Mia.
oh, snap. Oh, wow.
I never knew you existed. I did look for you. I met my sister tonight. I feel like my sister's home, my big sister, finally came to see her baby sister. My dad was married several times and he didn't talk about it. So when he abandoned us, he didn't tell us about any of his children or their families. I wish I had bought them. As a kid, sometimes I would just get the photo album and I would just stare at a picture. My dad, I guess he kept them, and when he left, they were in our photo album. And I always asked my mom about you, wondering when or if she was alive or if I'd ever meet her.
Well, you don't worry, because now I know about you, and we're going to continue this relationship.
means the world to me. Like, there are no words. Yeah. Oh man, this is worth it. Okay, can I pee now?
Those two are so close. We have done, the fans of the show have asked throughout the year saying, when are you going to do follow-up episodes? And we've done that. It's called After the Race. And she and her sister are so close. And it's, again, the power of family. This next one, as you all know, is genealogists and people that care about family or looking for family. As you know, that journey, that search sometimes surprises you. And in this case, it's just heart-wrenching. And again, it's the reality. Not everything that we show is all wonderful and roses. Sometimes it can be really hard. And this is Troy and Nicole Hitt. Troy happens to be one of my favorites. Big, I'm 6'3". This guy was like 6'5". Big beard. Those of you, I see some of you nodding that remember this. So I want you to see Troy's journey, both when he discovers something that devastates him, and then when he finds family that shares, kind of ties in a knot this tough situation for him. So this is Troy and Nicole Hitt. It's 2 different episodes that you're going to see, 2 different moments from 2 different episodes.
I'm Troy Hitt.
I'm Nicole Hitt
And we're the red team.
from Humble, Texas.
I wanted to be on the show is to find out who my biological father is. I grew up as an only child, and sometime between the ages of 0 and 5, my mom and dad split up, and I haven't seen my dad since. In the back of my mind, I am definitely concerned if he's still alive. I just want to ask him, if he tried to connect with me. If he even tried. Holy smokes.
All right.
Jacob sits down at the table with us, and he pulls out this huge family tree. That's my mom. That's me. I was like, there's my mom. That's me. That's my dad. That's my dad. We're related on your dad's side.
That's his cousin.
That's pretty cool. That's the first time I've seen his name on a piece of paper. That's pretty cool. That's my dad. That's his name. That's Robert James Harmon. That's the first time I'd seen his name on a family tree. So his birthday, December 11th. Is that his birthday? What is that? That's married date. Oh. Does that mean he's deceased? That means he's deceased. Has a D for deceased.
In Northern California, Troy Hitt from Team Red meets his uncle for the first time.
Okay, Troy, you want to sit in the middle?
Oh, wow. You got a spread here. He has laid out this memoriam. That's the best way to describe it. For my dad, personal effects, photo albums. I immediately, before I even sat down, I'm like, that's my dad.
He went to work for Beach Aircraft, and he went all over the place. I mean, all over the world.
He was an aircraft mechanic. He's got 2 passports, and they've got stamps from Korea, Saudi Arabia. He's been all over. First of all, he's a good-looking guy. There's a butterfly collar.
Here's his wallet. Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, my Uncle Dave came around and he said, I got one more thing for you.
course, another Harley Davidson.
This one's going to be a little more heart wrenching. That's his urn.
It was a memoriam. It was his urn.
Kind of felt like the Harley kind of fit him.
And it had his name and his birth date, 47, October 2002, when he passed away. And I didn't know how to take it. Like, he's literally bringing my dad to me right now. I learned more about him in this past 10 minutes than I ever knew.
I'm glad that we were able to get together and let you know a little bit about him.
Get over here, close as you can. I've been alone in this place. I wanna get face to face.
I couldn't stop touching it.
I need you here, give me your hand. We've gotta fill in this space. I wanna get face to face.
It felt good to just put my hands on it. And kept reading his name and the date and writing home. I just kept reading it in my head over and over and again. It just took a while to sink in that this is literally my dad. This is what's left of my dad, is his memories, and here he is right here. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it, man. I told him thank you for bringing my dad to me.
So let me tell you the rest of that story. Those of us remember this in the room. There was a guy named Paul Harvey, and I used to listen to him religiously on the radio. And he used to say, and now the rest of the story. So the rest of the story is this. Those two owned 3 fitness gyms in Texas. After this show, meeting all of their family, they sold their fitness gyms, bought an RV, and for the past 4 years have lived on the road, worked out of that RV, and go visit their family that they met. And by meeting that family, that their family says, oh, you've got to meet my cousin. You've got everybody that they're related to. And they keep going all around the country, just finding family. Family's important. The next one is, this was our first father and son team, Michael and Dylan Anderson, from I think South Carolina. He's got a great accent. And it breaks your heart when he says this little thing coming up, that he just wondered if there was anybody out there that loved him. And again, I want to tell you the rest of the story after you see this scene. So Michael and Dylan Anderson, our first father and son team.
I'm Michael Anderson. And I'm his son Dylan. And we're from Concord, North Carolina. And we are Team Blue. I want to be on this race to find my biological family. I was adopted at birth. My adoptive father died when I was 9. My adoptive mother died when I was 12. She told no one where I came from. I know everyone on my mom's side, but I don't know anyone on my dad's side. When my adoptive parents passed away, I was a 12-year-old boy with nobody in the world that I felt loved me. I felt so alone. Meeting family, it would change my life. We get out of the car and we walk down the sidewalk. And there was this man and this woman standing there. I had no idea who they was.
Go ahead.
Hey.
Hello, son. I'm Wayne. I'm your daddy. I'm your grandpa.
This is
Yes, sir.
This is my son Dylan.
A part of me just got filled in. A missing piece in the puzzle just got placed.
I didn't know that you were born or you'd been with me, buddy.
You didn't know about me?
No. I never did know nothing about you two.
I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't know what was coming up here for. And I'm very happy that I wasn't too late.
I'm very, very sick. I ain't got long to be here.
What?
That's the reason we met today. My kidney's done quit working.
He's not going to be around. But having this completes me more. So you're the one to thank for my bald spot. My father, my blood. Happy doesn't describe it. This is absolutely one of the best moments of my life.
Come on.
All right.
Happy day of my life, son.
Same here.
So we have time for one more. And yes, his father passed away shortly after this. And in fact, the reason he said, his dad said, that's the reason we're meeting like this, is when we found the father, and that is his, some lady that he married, and she was, I have to be careful. We actually found 5 siblings of his, and that woman called all 5 siblings and said, I will disown you if you meet your brother. So he never met those. We gave him the information, but anyway, the reason why the reason why he said that is once we called him and talked to him, he was so excited to meet his son. He said, no boy should ever be without his daddy. I will never forget that. When I said, well, you have a son. He goes, I have a son. He says, no boy should ever be without his daddy. And so, then he told us, we said, well, the race is going to be on these dates. And it was like 3 months down the road. He said, well, I won't be here. And I said, well, where will you be? And he said, well, I won't be here. And I said, well, can we arrange we might be able to move the race? He goes, no, you don't understand. I won't be alive. So anyway, that's why he said that, because he died shortly after that. So we actually filmed that a month before the race because we had to, and we explained it to the audience. It's not like we were trying to do something to the audience. We explained it to the audience within the show that earlier, this is what happened. And we do this flashback that you just saw. We have time for one more. I think I have till 9:50. And so we have time for one more and then some questions and answers. Paris and Precious, oh my gosh. I want to show you this because I want to tell you what happens after this scene. Precious, oh my gosh, I fell in love with this woman. Such a neat woman. Husband and wife Team Green. I think they were season 4. This is season 4. And this is the last day of the race before they get to day 10 and compete for $50,000. The last day of the race. This is what happens.
Hi, I'm Paris Anderson.
And I'm Precious Anderson.
We're from Akron, Ohio.
And we're Team Green.
I'm hoping to find answers to questions that I've had this whole time growing up. Ever since I was a baby, I was in foster homes. So it's been over 20 years since the last time that I've seen my parents. I wondered if I look more like my mom or my dad. I don't know. I can't recall their faces. Not even having a picture, definitely hard. We're waiting and anticipating who's behind the door, and no one comes to the door.
Knock again.
We knock again, still no one. Okay.
It's cracked.
So then we go inside, the door was open.
Hello?
Oh. I noticed there's these pictures on a table. So I walk over to the pictures. I see a picture of my mom, the first one I was given. I see a picture of me and my dad. I'm on his lap, and I think I was 6 years old in the picture. My sweet daughter, you're not my little daddy's girl. You're all grown up now, precious. It's like a note like that he wrote on. The gods are smiling down on this day. Your time to shine and be filled with all the love and joy your dad. Power and precious. I kind of just take it all in, and now I'm like, well, maybe he's not here. Like maybe he kind of wanted to just send some words since he couldn't be here. I'm just telling myself, like, you might need to be okay with this being it for day 9. You're my dad.
God's good. Walking out that door was like walking out into a stadium. The crowd could have been 1,000,000. My daughter's priceless. So when she turned face to face direct to me, her father, I can say 1,000 words. It will never explain the feeling. Words cannot express when you love someone, when you miss someone, when you want to embrace someone, and that someone is your daughter.
It really is like magical. It wasn't just a piece of paper, here he is. Like, I really got to meet him and hug him and talk to him. It's been so long.
It's okay. Whatever you was feeling, those feelings now can be filled with joy and happiness. We made it this far, right?
Yes.
There's a reason. Glad to see you, man.
Likewise, man. Thank you, man. You such a beautiful woman, and I appreciate it.
Thank God.
This was the perfect way to like really meet him for the first time and like feel that connection.
My name is Howard Williams. I'm Precious's father.
I'm Keith.
Oh, good. Okay, good. We're going to show another. That's good. I have until 10 o'clock. So I hope that's okay. Unless you guys are like, get off the stage. I'm like, I didn't think you were supposed to drink before 10. What's up? So I want you to know that Paris's father, so she is one of my favorite. I mean, anybody that watched that, I think you fell in love with Paris, and her husband was so supportive. I mean, and what better names? Paris and Precious. And that's their real names. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is good. This is good TV. Dad moved. He moved so that he's just a few blocks from Precious. Wow. And they have two, I don't know if they have more. They have 2 kids. And those kids are with their grandfather 3 times a week minimum. When we did the follow-up series, Precious is like, oh, my dad and I talk to each other daily. We see each other 3 days a week minimum. Just amazing. And when you saw that picture of her mother, she discovered a few days earlier from her aunt, from her mother's sister, that her mother had passed away. So, okay, I'm going to now share with you this last one. This is from season 5. This is the one that I recommend if you want to start a season and you don't want to watch them all. I recommend starting with this season. And you're going to find, I'm going to show you a moment that to me in 35 years of television production is the best moment I've ever seen in television, ever. And I'll tell you the rest of the story afterwards. But these are 2 brothers. They have the same mother, but different fathers, and they had found each other through ancestry. The one brother had found the other brother and had to search for him. He was homeless and dancing on the streets of LA. And they go on this journey together. And here is the story of Marcus and Keith.
Green Gloves. I'm Marcus Taylor. We're brothers from Los Angeles, and we're Team Green. I definitely had a lot of hardships in life, from being homeless, abused, over 10 foster homes, neglected. We're basically half brothers. We have the same mother, but different dads. When I was about 5 or 6, my mom passed away the day before Mother's Day. I can remember it like it was yesterday because I was at school making her a Mother's Day card. And that's basically how I remember, because she never got it. Of course, it was heartbreaking. Nobody ever wants to hear that they lost a loved one, let alone a mother or a father. We're on the show to help my brother find his biological father. I really don't know who my father is. I don't know his name. I don't know his ethnicity. I don't know anything. Being raised in the foster system, you always wonder who your family is. So I'm excited to be on this show because I really feel like I would know a whole lot more if I had a father.
Are you ready to hit the road?
Do it.
We do have one problem, though. For the first time ever, one of our teams does not have driver's licenses.
Them New Yorkers.
No. Dan says there's a team that doesn't have a license, and my jaw drops.
Team Red, do you have your driver's licenses?
The past 5 days, yes.
Yes.
I've had my license.
Team Green, do you have your licenses?
Well, actually, Dan, we don't. We've lived in California all of our lives and found it pretty easy to get around on public transportation.
I'm thinking that out of the competition.
Done.
Marcus and Keith, will you please step forward?
Dan asked him to step forward. I was sure. We're like,
Oh, I thought they're getting disqualified. Yes. I looked at it. 2 to go.
We've thought about this for a long time, and we simply cannot let you drive without your licenses.
How are you even going to do this? Like, how are you even going to complete the challenge? Like, you're out.
I'm so confused.
But since this show is about finding family, we've decided to bring a driver in for you.
That is not fair.
I don't like that.
How you doing? Now, let me be clear. There are rules for this driver. He cannot look at the map at any time.
You get tired on the road when you're driving and you have to pay attention. So we think it's a little unfair.
He cannot help you in any way. In fact, he cannot make a turn or do anything unless you two tell him.
I'm thinking to myself, whoa. That's not fair.
If he does, you two will automatically earn a strike on the spot. Is that clear? All right, go ahead, meet your team.
Hey guys, happy to be your driver.
Hey, cousin.
Well, especially you, Marcus.
Nice to meet you.
I'm your dad.
Dude,
Oh my goodness, yes! I'm so happy for you
I
guys.
don't even know what to say right now. This is a loop, brother. This is a
Yay!
loop.
Oh, I'm so yay!
Got a whole lifetime to catch up. Man, I've been waiting. I've known 3 months I've been waiting. Couldn't wait.
Keith, it is nice to meet you. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah. My name is Bishop Higgins, and I am Marcus's father. To see Marcus for the first time in person was amazing. I seen he looks just like me, a mini me.
I met my dad. That is crazy. Like, I don't know what to say. I'm still in shock. I'm just tangled. I don't know what to say. Like, he hugged me for like a good 30-something seconds. And like the whole time in my mind, I'm just like thinking this cannot be real.
I was overjoyed for the first time I hugged him. We've connected. There's that bond. It's like we've known him, like I've known him all his life.
It's real in that moment, you know? Like, this just got really serious. Immediately, tears, emotion. I'm so overwhelmed and happy for Marcus. And to be honest, I'm okay with his dad driving him.
That was so awesome.
It really put in perspective what the show's about.
Yeah.
And it made me think to myself, whatever preconceptions we had about this show, they all went out the window.
And I just felt pure love and like it was meant to happen. Like it was real. It was real love, energy, just love. Like that's all I felt.
You don't know what to expect on this race, but when you see it in person, it's just different. Like you're feeling everybody's, love and compassion towards each other.
I'm just glad that come together and he has closure for that and we're here for him and the healing can begin.
It's a life-changing moment for the rest of my life for sure. Like I'm my dad,
So he lives with his dad. His dad's a truck driver. He lives with his dad in Las Vegas. And we're at our offices in Salt Lake a couple of years ago, about 3 years, maybe 2 years after this aired. And all of a sudden somebody says, "Hey, Dan, there's a couple of people that would like to see you." And it was Bishop and his son. And they were on a truck, taking a truck drive out somewhere. And they just came by to say hello. And so it's just amazing. Now, let me quickly tell you how that scene happened. Every team has a producer assigned from our company to be with that team. They're embedded with that team. They work with their relatives for months in advance. They set up the routes that they go on. And this producer for that team, Team Green, kept coming to me saying, "Look, they don't have their licenses." But this was 3 months before the show. He flew out twice to LA, flew out there to ensure that they would get, because they didn't have cars. So I said, "Well, fly out there. They have to have their licenses." So for 3 months, I'm asking him every week. He doesn't work for us anymore. Every week, I'm saying, "Where are their licenses? Where are their licenses?" He goes, "They're going to get it. They're going to get it." 3 days before we fly out to St. Louis, 3 days, he comes in my office with his head down and says, "Dan," I said, don't you dare tell me what I think you're going to tell me. They don't have their licenses." I just looked at him like, I don't know what we're going to do. And then all of a sudden I went, wait a minute. Isn't his dad a truck driver? Yeah. And then he looks at me and we were like, I said, what day is he meeting his dad? Day 8. I said, "Can we fill in? Can we move things around in the latter part of the race?" He says, "I got it, Dan. I got it." I said, "Yeah, he's going to fly out. Nobody's going to know anything about this. This is going to be awesome." And that was the result of that. Okay, we have 5 minutes. Any questions that I can answer about relative race or what we've discovered about family? Or I'm not a genealogist, but I can certainly tell you how we find things. Yes.
Did Keith find his dad?
So Keith did not find his dad. Keith found, you cannot believe how many family he found. Uncles, aunts, first cousins. And they had this big, like one stop for Keith, there were maybe 30 relatives. And they're all there for him. And he didn't think he was like, "Well, I'm just here for my brother." And it's like, oh, no. Wait till you see who we found for you. So, and we do that often on the show. A spouse that's on going, "Well, I know all my family." Then they stop at a door and the door says, "I'm your first cousin." What? So it's cool. Anyone else? Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever had it where nobody's wanted?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So unfortunately, it's more mothers. So when we do the research, the casting, we start with usually about 1,500. We narrow it really quickly to about 100. We send DNA out, ancestry DNA kits to all those. And then our genealogy team starts down the road. And then we quickly get rid of about 50 or 60 from that within about 10 days. Because we're like, there's no way we're going to find their family. There's no records. And we go, okay. And of those, like 35 or 40, we do deep dives into research. and then we start calling the relatives. And it is, unfortunately, probably 25% of the time when we're dealing with mothers, they say, don't ever call me again. I have no desire to meet my children. We have had, I think we've had one father, the dads usually don't know anything about it. Most of the time they don't know. And fortunately, most of the time they're in. But we have a lot of skeptics, and then we send them a copy of the show. We send them a link and we say, click on this and watch the show and let us call you back. Because their first reaction, even uncles, anybody, they're like, why would I meet family on a national television show with 86 million viewers? It ain't going to happen. And we're like, watch the show. And then they watch the show. We call them back and go, I'm in. You know, we go, yeah, our show isn't a negative reality show. Our show is nothing about, it's all about love. And it's just really cool. It's really different. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Dan, my husband and I are two of the 86 million people that watch. We record it. That is our Sunday night event.
I love hearing that.
And I'm hoping that it continues.
I hope so too. You know, we thought, look, to be in season 11 and to be casting for season 12, and we're told we'll get a production agreement by the end of this month. If not, they just called us 3 days ago. It might be the first week in December. To have 12 seasons that's just beyond remarkable. If you like the show, contact BYU TV. Just search BYU TV and contact them and say, you've got to keep this show going. It is their most popular show. They've told us that. It is the cornerstone of their programming. They've told us that. And they've said why. They said it's the only multi-generational show, meaning we have children, grandchildren, kids, parents, and grandparents that watch this show together. They said, and they all love it. And they said, and it's the only show that hits all of their core values at BYU TV, which is family, faith, good works, and I'm trying to remember the other. But our show is the only one that hits all four of their points, and they've told us that. But if you like the show, please let them know. There's actually a new president of the show, Jeff Simpson, a new president of BYU Broadcasting that oversees everything, Jeff Simpson. So send an email or even get on Facebook, or, you know, they have Facebook pages, they have Instagram pages. Let them know.
We don't only like it, we love it. And as I was walking out the house this morning, my husband says, say hello to Dan for me.
Oh, we'll have to get a picture. We'll have to get a picture together. Although again, he might not recognize me this way. I heard a few people when it showed a shot of me. I heard a few people going like, "What?" I'm like, 14 months of cancer will do this to you. Okay. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Got a question. To me, I don't understand why every morning when they have to get out and go and you get the text,
yes,
they have to carry their bags to the car. Is that a rule?
No, it's because they don't know when they're getting the text.
You could put the bags in the car.
Well, if you've watched all the seasons, there are two teams that not only did that had their bags, they sat in the car. They said goodbye to their family. We love you. I can't wait to see you. You're my brother. I'm going to the car. And they sat in the car for 40 minutes and waited for me to text them. And I text all the teams at once. So they were well prepared.
Never are.
Thank you so much. I'm going to be at a table from, I think, 1 to 3 today. So I'll be at I don't know where that table is. And I don't know if I think it's a card table. We're going to play blackjack. And so I'm going to be in the exhibit hall from 1 to 3. If you see me around and you'd like to talk, or if you'd like to take a picture together, I'd love to do that. Although again, people won't recognize me. So happy to do it. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here, you guys. What a pleasure. And I'm speaking tomorrow as well, and we'll have more of these scenes. So thank you.